This is the Happy Hour Network.
Pay attention, son. This is for your own good.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/late-night-parents. Why Audible? Audible content includes more than 180,000 audio programs from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, and business information providers. That's audibletrials.com/late-night-parents.
And we are back. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents, coming back to you live. I know we've kind of been in flux for the month of December. It's the holiday season. There's a lot of things. There's holiday parties. Are you being naughty or nice? A whole lot of questions, a lot of things going on here. But I want to let you know, this is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. Couple of quick ways to get in contact with us, 347-857-1947. That number again is 347-857-1947. You can also catch us via social media. That's twitter.com/late night parent. Or you can find me as the real Ted Hicks on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/late night parents, and our portal, latenightparents.com, is available for you 24/7. It's the month is closing quickly. There's a whole lot of things that are happening. It's the festive time of year. We hope that you're out there and enjoying time with your family. For the calendar side, if you are working in academia, it's finals time. And for everyone else, they're getting ready for the holidays and getting ready for an extended holiday break. So with all of that, we got a really good show tonight. Just two people. We changed the format for season 2 because we needed to kind of peel things back and get in depth a little bit with our guest. So what was once a 3-person format or 3-guest format is only a 2-person format. Starting off the show at 5 minutes past the hour will be Mr. Niall Nickel, my buddy in crime, my partner in crime on Life Improvement Radio, the social media business hour. At 30 minutes past the hour will be none other than the good old boy himself, Bucko Bruce. You can find him on Bucko Bruce 83. Niall is going to be talking a little tech. He was on a few weeks ago. We had a great time. And that's when you have that moment and you say, the internet is something great. Because I looked and I was looking through the cast of characters that are on Life Improvement, and not only can you see my ugly mug, you see a whole bunch of other folks that, they're not ugly like me, but Mr. Niall Nickel is a part of that group. So before we let Niall on, I want to thank all of our radio partners that share the program, I-95 Sports Network, Back Sports Pages. Want to thank, of course, Life Improvement Radio. You and I are one radio. FSC Radio, Jimagination Network, Jimagination Unlimited Network. We are powered. Wait, I got to get this out. Because I say this each and every week. We are powered on the iHeartRadio app via NGSC Sports. Once again, thank you guys for all the support. There's some talk about us doing some internet streaming for the new year, but that'll come out, very soon. You can also find us on iTunes. You can find us on latenightparents.com. You can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on SoundCloud. We're everywhere. So with that, we thanked our partners. Let's get into it. I see a 727 number. Mr. Niall Nickel, I'm hoping, has called up to join the show to visit my house. Niall, how you doing?
Hey, I am doing awesome. Getting ready for the holidays. How about you?
Much of the same. I did some early holiday shopping, and my wife said I spoiled things because I gave my son his Xbox One last month, and she said you should have saved it, but I just couldn't leave it in the closet for a month because I like to play too.
Well, sometimes those selfish motivations serve us well.
Yes. But now, of all the great things you do, like I said, I don't know how I stumbled on this, that we're both on life improvements, because I got connected to you through Ascot and the good folks there, and it just hit me as I was going back and forth, and I was looking at the different sites that like my show was on, and how the podcast and everything, how that streams, and I ran across your picture. I said, wait a minute. I said, oh my goodness. It was one of those moments where I was like, okay, he was on the show. I didn't know this, and I guess I should have.
Well, in today's world, like your show, the Social Media Business Hour, which is the show that I do, is all over the place. And likewise, I probably do about probably close to 300 radio or television interviews a year. And so, but with those interviews being syndicated, I end up being in a whole bunch of places as well. So you and I just cross paths everywhere. That's
good. So, it's the holiday season. I guess we want to talk a little tech, because the one thing I really did appreciate about you is your love for technology, your love for, I guess, manipulating social media. And I wanted to talk, what are some of if you aren't the dad that didn't give your son or your daughter the Xbox, what are some of the cool tech toys out there that you could possibly, that would be age appropriate to give?
Well, that the Star Wars saga is continuing, and we're starting to get all of the new episodes. In fact, the newest episode's releasing this week. And in Star Wars, there is a new droid called BB-8. Well, that means if there's a new droid, there's a new droid toy called BB-8. And I don't know if you followed the Spiro Ball, but the Spiro Ball was a nice little ball that you could control with your phone or iPad, something like that, and be able to move it around all over the place, change colors, and just do neat stuff with it. Well, the makers of Spiro were approached by Disney, and they said, "Hey, we've got this new Star Wars movie coming out, and we were thinking of you guys because you've got this moving ball, and if you look at BB-8, this new droid, it looks a lot like that. Can you make us one of these?" And so they set off to make this, and it looks like it's going to be one of the hottest tech toys of the year. It moves around, looks like the real droid, but it will make noises, talk to you. You could voice control it in addition to controlling with your iPhone and iPad, and it is flying off the shelves.
That is cool. Neil, I got it. I mean, I guess there's an 800-pound gorilla in the room, and I guess we gotta approach it because number one, I was approached by this. What's the madness going on with these hoverboards? UL laboring, UL approved. I mean, I've got even my 8-year-old son asking me for a hoverboard, and my immediate response to him was, "They catch on fire, son. You don't want that." And he said, "Well, that's only if you leave it charged overnight." And I had one of those moments where I kind of looked at him like, number one, how do you know this? Number two, go somewhere.
Well, your son is partially right. It's all related to the battery heat, and as batteries start to provide more power and get smaller, the big problem that we have with batteries is they tend to catch on fire. And it's true of virtually any of the batteries in any of our electronics today because they're very similar in technology. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you've also seen the post where you really don't want to be charging your smartphone by your bed at night, close to your head, because likewise they have the possibility of exploding.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, the hoverboards are having that problem. A lot of sites have quit selling them, including Amazon. You can't carry them on a plane in your luggage or carry-on. So they're a little bit problematic. They'll get that figured out. You have to charge them probably a little bit slower, but the other issue is how fast they discharge. Right. So if you've got somebody like me that might be a little bit heavier that's on one of those boards riding around, and we're riding it for a long time and we're being pretty aggressive with it, the battery's going to get hotter, and likewise it has the opportunity to explode or catch fire, which would not make for a pleasurable toy experience.
Hey, I got to ask you about a toy for myself. And I'm going to say, I guess I'm thinking about virtual reality. And I'm kind of thinking about, hey, plugging my phone into like a Samsung Gear VR device and like enjoying some, playing some of their Android related games, or possibly watching Netflix or Hulu or even Oculus Video. Is that something that's obtainable this year, or is this something a few years out?
It's obtainable this year. There's a few places that are doing it. I'm going to talk about some throwback toys, and one of the throwback toys is using that same technology. But one of the things that you're going to find, and you can find this year, it's a little bit harder to find, but there are a number of devices now that allow you to slip your smartphone into the device and basically get that immersive 3D reality or virtual reality sort of headset. Most of them are less than $100. But I'll tell you, if I was doing this knowing what I know, because you know that I attend all the trade shows and everything else.
Gotcha.
There are some new glasses that will be coming out. They really were trying to get it out this year before Christmas, and they had a limited release, so I'm not even going to announce it because it's just too hard to find. But the glass that's used in the virtual reality glasses that you slide your phone behind was developed for the military in use in the pilot's heads-up displays and all of that to create better displays, and they took it a step further to create immersive pilot technology to give pilots sort of real experience while they could be on the ground safely. And those glasses are sub $100 as well. They'll be out next year. like I said, they're actually out now, but they're such limited quantity and all that, we just frustrate people telling them about it. But there are currently on the market, you could find them on Amazon and all of that, the same type of glasses. Google actually has sort of a cardboard setup that's less than $20 that you could play with, put your phone in, and create that sort of immersive technology as well. But you are definitely going to see that coming out probably first quarter. I don't even think they're going to wait for next Christmas. But, we're probably just on the early side of it right now. But it is amazing. And I told you I'd talk about one of the throwback toys.
Yes, yes.
You remember the old Viewmasters?
Yes, I do.
And, I think every kid and even a lot of adults just loved them. And Viewmaster has now come out with a Viewmaster virtual reality headset.
Wow.
It's less than $30. It's sort of like your Viewmaster, looks like your Viewmaster, has sort of the disc that looked like the Viewmaster, and the disc is nothing more than the information to be downloaded onto your smartphone. And your smartphone slips behind the Viewmaster sort of mechanism, and now you get an immersive 3D 360-degree Viewmaster experience. So now you could look side to side, up to down, behind you, and they have those incredible high-definition pictures like they had when we were kids. But now it's sort of immersive. You're in it. You get a look around. And because of the price point, sub $30, and the picture packs, I think it comes with one pack initially. The picture packs are less than $30. In fact, I think they're about $24. It really is a fun experience for not only the kids but the adults too.
Perfect. There's one other controversial toy that's it's out there. I mean, there's many others that are out there, but there's one other that has peaked. Basically, it's not only peaked because you hear it every day, and so my wife said, "Hey, maybe we can get him a helicopter or a lightweight airplane that he can fly. That will, maybe 25 or so minutes of flying time." And I said to my wife, I said, "Drone." I said, "Oh my God, you're gonna get us arrested."
Well, the FAA continues to struggle with what they're going to do with the drones. And as a matter of fact, earlier this week, they announced a drone registration program.
Yes.
And virtually all drones, even these really tiny ones now, the FAA is going to require you to register and put a registration sticker on the drone.
Wow.
And there'll be fines if you don't and all of that. The registration is $5, but the flip side is if you actually apply for the registration in the first 30 days that it's available, they're going to give it to you for free.
Oh, okay.
So hey, if you're going to get a drone, get a drone now. Register it now. It'll save you $5. The drone, there's a lot of associations. This sort of came out of left field. It certainly hasn't been part of the FAA discussion, at least from this level. But a lot of the associations are fighting it, and they're saying the $5 is a nuisance fee. There's so many, and there are going to be so many, the registration's almost worthless because you're going to get registrations from almost every home in America ultimately.
Right.
So
that is true.
In any case, where's it going to go? Listen, whenever the government could start another program and get more money, it'll probably be there. So as of December 21st, 2015, we'll now be registering our kids' toys and paying a registration fee for it if they get a drone.
So tonight already, just to quickly recap, speaking to Mr. Niall Nickel of the Social Media Business Hour, I have to register my son's drone. If I'm living in the state of New York, hoverboards are illegal. Amazon, which sells everything under the sun, no longer sells this device. I don't know if it's a great time to be a kid or not. I just remember, I mean, yes, with the technology, but now I remember when we were kids going outside and playing outside with other kids on the block and, you know, being a child and living that enjoying that time of your life where nowadays it's screen time, it's all these different devices, and it's virtual friends. I don't know.
Well, it's going to get crazier. You know, one of the other throwback toys that I haven't mentioned to you, and it goes along with what we're talking about right now, is the Hello Barbie. And I don't know if you paid attention to this new gift. But just to give you the background of it, the Hello Barbie is a Barbie that has a Wi-Fi connection, speech recognition, progressive learning technology, and she comes already preloaded with 8,000 different phrases. She tells stories, plays games, tells jokes. Each conversation is uniquely different. But what she does is she doesn't just rattle off comments or phrases. She has a conversation. And she learns by communicating with, you know, whoever her owner is. And so all of a sudden she starts to become very real. And of course, toy manufacturers have been trying to do this for a while. I don't know if you remember, like the Teddy Ruxpin back in the mid-'80s.
Yes, I do.
The Furbies, for example, that, you know, all of a sudden you had to put them in a drawer somewhere because they started listening to conversations they shouldn't be listening to and repeating them. So, you know, this new Hello Barbie obviously has some psychologist concerns because all of a sudden you don't have this imaginary friend now. You have a real friend in this doll that you plug into the charging station every night.
Oh, my.
But also some security experts a little bit concerned because it records the conversation, uploads it, analyzes it, and figures out what to say. They're concerned about hacking and hackers getting into this.
Yes, I was just going to say, could you imagine this Hello Barbie getting hacked and the chaos that it could cause?
Well, they're already concerned about that. But that Hello Barbie is one of the new and hot toys of the year. It's fairly affordable. It starts at about $75. But, yeah, I'm not sure. You know, at this point in time, I could see my daughter, for example, coming back to mom and her mom telling her something and my daughter responding, well, that's not what Barbie says. So the high tech presents new problems for us, to say the least.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I will tell you about that. Honorable mention to Nimble Storage. I'm attending an event on Friday morning, and so I have to hear Nimble Storage give their, I guess, you know, their elevator speech for 90 minutes, and after that, they will be premiering Star Wars at 10 o'clock in the morning at the AMC Lowe's at 34th Street in downtown Manhattan. So now I want to say, before you leave us, if you can give us maybe in 45 seconds or so, what's the best 3D printer out there?
I'm not going to give you a best because that market is still too much in flux. You know, a lot of people are playing with the Cube. A lot of people might say it's the best. But I have a feeling that by mid-year 2016, we're just going to see some radical changes and radical price drops as well.
Excellent. Excellent. It kind of reminds me of many, many years ago when the flat screen TVs, and they were moving from LCD to LED, and the price dropped, and, you know, everyone got competitive. But I guess now my last question for you is, tell us the best way to get in contact with you. Tell us about your businesses. Tell us about Social Media Business Hour. Tell us everything.
Well, Social Media Business Hour is always fun for me. We get into different news, different views, and we talk about some of the weird internet stories that are breaking. The unfortunate part is they're true stories. And we sometimes try to do a business takeaway on those stories, not always. But then we get into social media or business advice of how small businesses could really leverage the power of social media or some of the other social media related things to help their business grow or improve the owner's life. Because, when we're operating a small business, it's hard to draw that line between business and life. And so people could get me at the socialmediabusinesshour.com, or as you said, go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, go wherever. We're there. Likewise, I also do a lot of interviews, and I share a lot of that information at nilenickel.com. And it's Nile just like the river, N-I-L-E, and nickel like the 5-cent coin, N-I-C-K-E-L.com. And you could absolutely positively find me in both of those places.
Perfect. I got to tell you, next time we're going to actually come back, because I'm going to probably want to talk with you about cord cutting and how it's just spiraling out of control when these cable companies are reeling. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still billion-dollar cable companies, but I'm sure they're tightening their belt slightly. But now we want to give you a round of applause. Now we want to say thank you for taking the time out tonight of your time to join us live, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and hopefully we'll be working with you very shortly in 2016.
It sounds awesome, and it's always a pleasure to be with you, Ted.
Thanks so much. And that was Mr. Nile Nickel from the Social Media Business Hour. It's always great connecting with friends and colleagues, just talking about the latest and greatest in technology. Really excited. He's a really, really, really good pro. Catch him on the Social Media Business Hour. Listen to the podcast. Go to the website. Or, worst comes to worst, go to lifeimprovementradio.com, where you'll find him, and you'll also find me, so I can do some self-promoting. But before our good friend Bucko Bruce joins the show at 30 minutes past the hour, because I think Bucko has a few things to get off his chest. He wants to talk a little NFL and a little MLB, and I guess I got to ask him what's going on with his expanded family. We're going to just do a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook of your choice and a free 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/late-night-parents and choose from over 180,000 audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/late-night-parents. That's audibletrial.com/late-night-parents and get started today. Why Audible? Audible content includes more than 180,000 audio programs from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, and business information providers. That's audibletrials.com/late-night-parents.
And we're back. We want to thank our good friends at Audible. Want to thank our good friends at audible.com who support Late Night Parents. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for just being there and reaching out to us and allowing us to be a part of your program of podcasters. Before we bring Big Bucko on, two quick stories I want to talk about. One really briefly, I have registered for the podcast movement. I will be in Chi-Town July 6th through the 8th with a whole bunch of other folks, probably about 1,500 other folks, with my good friends Jared Easley, Mark Marin, and others. Really excited about that. So I also mentioned Nimble Storage. I will be at one of the premieres of Star Wars The Force Awakens Friday morning, being a part of their program, their presentation, and then watching a movie. Life is good. Also want to thank our good friends at Semantic and Prevalent for reaching out to invite me to meet Mike Bossy, New York Islanders Stanley Cup winner Mike Bossy. Want to thank you guys for, hey, it's been a great time. I don't want to say it's been a great time being me, but so blessings out to, big guy up above. Want to ask you really quick, do video games affect teen driving? Over the past week, we've been releasing blogs on Late Night Parents about, teen driving. I mean, you find it, various different articles up there. But the question is, do video games affect teen driving? I mean, because the question is always to, turn off that video game and do your homework already is practically the motto of many households with teenagers. But, there's been so many different studies going on. How does that affect the teen? So here are some additional ways we want to make sure, because these teens are out there and they're playing Grand Theft Auto and they're driving crazy and they're doing whatever. We don't want to say it's every teen, but here are some additional ways to help teens develop healthy driving habits. You got to ask young drivers to turn off screens well before getting behind the wheel. That's so important because nowadays I see so many people at the stoplight looking at their phone, texting, and the light has changed from red to green. You got to prohibit speeding. Most teen drivers don't have the experience to handle a vehicle at high speeds. Well, I mean, that says it all. We have to encourage teens to leave early so they don't feel like they have to speed to get where they're going. How many times have you been in a situation where you're going to work and you show up 5 minutes late, and the answer is always, or the comment is always, leave earlier. Leave earlier so you don't have to speed and drive crazy out there. Give new drivers extra practice in changing weather conditions. There's a reason racing games add rain to increase the difficulty of a course. I mean, you got to think about it because, number one, my daughter is 14 and she's 2 years away from asking daddy for the car. So you got to keep your eyes on this. And you got to model safe driving habits, like leaving at least 2 seconds of space between your vehicle and the car ahead. The most important thing is, if you're at that situation where you have, a parent-teen, what's great is a parent-teen driving contract to set the expectation of safe driving. So these are just a few tips. You can find the entire story on latenightparents.com. But with all of that said, I got to bring my brother into the room. He doesn't require this long introduction because he's a friend to the room and he's a friend to me, none other than Bucko Bruce. What's going on, Bucko?
Hey, man, it's beautiful to be here. I'm just trying to come in here and maybe some of those blessings that you get will rub off on me. That's all I'm doing. I'm being selfish right now.
Oh.
Good to hear from you, bro.
Good to hear from you as always, man. Always happy to hear from family. And for the folks that remember, Big Bucko and Teddy Two Teens, as he likes to call me, first rocked the mic together at the Barbershop Sports. Inside the barbershop, we rocked for a few years together on the mic, on the station down the dial. But as usual, some things, I guess, we get to a point where we grow up and we go our separate ways, but we always tend to come back because we're friends. And it was nothing better than getting with Big Bucko when I was in ATL, and I had committed in a private conversation to be in ATL this year, this coming year, 2016, I don't know if to see those Braves, those horrible Braves, but to do something down there, maybe see the College Football Hall of Fame or something. But, Bucko, before we get into anything, what is going on with the family?
Oh, man, the family is hopefully not growing anymore. We're going to keep it solid with the three Rugrats. The youngest is 10 months and already starting to walk. And, I got a 3-year-old just finishing up on the potty training. When she's not, just deciding to go in the floor of the bathroom. I don't know why she decided to do that, but that's just one of the many joys that come along with what we do. And I got the 9-year-old going on 20. So a lot of fun times around this way.
That's good. That's good, man. I'm telling you, it's nothing better than, and this is two men on the phone. I got the phone ringing in the background. They must be calling for you. I told them, don't call that line if you want to speak. You want to speak to Bucko Bruce, you call 347-857-1947. But
you see that, people? That's called natural segue, natural talent. That's Teddy the Great right there.
but what's important is the fact that we're two men, and we can sit and we can talk about potty training. You're not getting this anywhere else. You can talk about potty training and the problems and the issues and noticing like the wins, the small wins that you run into when your child successfully uses the potty, and you're just like, yes, because you're thinking about, truthfully, to keep it real, Bucko, we were thinking, I know I was thinking, I said, man, I'm done with these Pampers, these training pants, all of this other stuff.
Yep.
It's the pocket, brother.
My pocket cannot handle these damn Pampers. And I got one more that's going to be in them for a couple more years, but, at least it's not two anymore.
No, and here's the other piece. The other piece about this was, and we could relate to this, and soon-to-be fathers, this is what you got to look forward to, is it's one thing when you're buying for your newborn and you can, you spend the $30 or $40 and you can get like 80 Pampers versus when your child is at that age of training pants age, you're still spending the same amount, but you're getting like 12.
You're getting 8 of them, yeah.
Totally.
You have a bad couple of days, you're done.
You're done, and you're running back. Yeah. And God forbid if you go into Toys R Us or something like that, one of those crazy stores that are overpriced, that's something else. But I will say this, segueing from fatherhood, Bucko, what is going on with those Braves? It's everyone else is getting players and signing players to these outrageous contracts. And I just see the Braves giving everyone away. What's happening with your Braves?
No, the winter meetings have been very unkind to us Braves fans, and I know there's several on Twitter that we communicate with that share my sentiments. What are we doing? What is the direction? You told me the goal was to get young aces, young pitching arms to build like we did in the early 90s. And I'm like, okay, I'm with you. So what you do, you have Jason Hayward, who obviously we weren't going to be able to pay this year looking at the mega deal. The Cubs just grossly overpaid for him, and I laughed silently at them for doing that. But we knew we weren't going to be able to do that. That's fine. So what do? You go out and get Shelby Miller for him, who, if you give him some run support, is a top 10 pitcher in the National League. Now you're going to trade him for a situational hitter and a couple of single-A pitchers. What the hell? That makes no sense at all. A 24-year-old possible ace who pitched his butt off for you last year. You trade him for people that are not household names and are single-A pitchers. It bothers me. I don't know what the direction is. I don't know what the vision is. I sure would like to know because, I'm now a hop, skip, and a jump away from the new stadium that'll be up in 2017, but I have to figure, are they worth my money? Are they giving me a product that's worth me spending money to go see them? And right now, it's a glaring no, in my opinion. I don't know how you see it. I know you're laughing, But.
Oh, I'm laughing big time, but, because I know that's your team, I'm kind of crying silently. I want to cry.
Yeah, I mean, it's the team of the entire Southeast. There is no team in the Carolinas. There is no team in Tennessee, Alabama. This is a team of a 5-6 state region. That this is their team, and you're giving them nothing. I mean, I understand if you were the Tampa Rays or if you were, the Padres or something, you have to operate on a minimal budget. I understand making some of these moves, but we're not a small market team. It's time to start acting like you're trying to win baseball games. That's very frustrating.
You're putting up a stadium, and most of these stadiums nowadays are almost $1 billion. Everywhere you look at it. I'm not sure. I don't have the information, so I'll put it out to you. Is it using private dollars or public dollars for the new stadium?
Both.
Oh, okay.
They did the hotel and tourism tax increase, which basically is a sales tax increase. Like if you go to restaurants or you go to hotels or you purchase certain type of things, there's a heavier levy on those particular purchases. So that's how they make that up. And then the Braves put up money, and Cobb County put up a good portion of the money as well. So that's the issue. That's why they're here in Cobb County, because City of Atlanta and Fulton County would not pony up any state funds to assist building it. And I believe this stadium, SunTrust Park, is supposed to be somewhere around $700 million. It's going to be smaller than Ted Turner Stadium is, hold less people. But it's still going to be state of the art. It's going to be one of those. Same with the Falcon Stadium. They're going to be wired to your device. Like you can order concessions and things from your smartphone sitting in your seat. There's going to be a lot of cool intricacies to make it enjoyable for the fan. They're building an entire village around the stadium of like little events, little batting decks and batting cages and things of that nature where you can go and enjoy stuff like that with the family.
You know what I'm noticing more and more nowadays? These parks are smaller. Well, for the casual fan, it's less seats, but there's going to be a heck of a lot of luxury suites there, and the amenities. Like when we saw stadiums like Camden Yards back in the early '90s, and then all of a sudden when you see Citi Field pop up, and you see the Nationals ballpark pop up, and it's going to be the same thing with the Braves. The amenities could keep you away from even enjoying the game.
Well, I mean, it's not keeping you from enjoying the game. I actually applaud Citi Field, Nationals Park, for what the Braves are doing, what the Falcons are doing. What these owners are doing is they're realizing TV has made the game a whole hell of a lot better at home. A whole hell of a lot better. So they have to do something to improve the live experience, to do something. Because baseball is, a lot of times, man, especially when you got a team like the Braves that aren't very good, it's like watching paint dry. Like you almost want to get hit in the face by a fly ball so you have some action. That now can be, changed by having little venues and things of that nature to at least keep your kids happy, to where it's a nice family bonding experience. So
it's true.
I applaud those efforts.
It's a fan-friendly experience now. And baseball is almost at $9 or $10 billion in revenue.
Oh, good. They're making too much money.
They're right. They're right
we're in the wrong business, man.
I know we are in the wrong business.
Why didn't we learn how to calculate stats into WAR and things of that nature and become baseball nerds and be millionaires?
I don't know.
Where were we at when they did this? Huh?
We weren't there with them. I mean, we should have been hanging out with Paul DePodesta and Billy Bean and heck, Sandy Alderson and the rest of them. We should have been hanging out with all of them.
I was sitting there making fun of those guys, calling them nerds. Now look at me. I'm the nerd
my goodness. Hey, I want to switch gears a little something because I know you best for being the quarterback guru. I know you best for talking about the pigskin. I know you best. I mean, yes, you're well-versed in baseball, but I want to talk about a little football, a little fantasy football there's like 2 rounds left in most fantasy leagues.
That's correct.
What's your thoughts on the fantasy football? Well, number one, I know you're in various leagues of fantasy football. How did you do this season? And are you still competing?
I only did 3 leagues this year. I promised the wife that, we'd cut it back. We're not going to be extravagant. And plus with the weekly fantasy, I dabbled in that a good bit. I had some good success on FanDuel. It was a good year. Then I made a couple of G's, and then nothing major. Just, for fun, playing $2 and $3 at a time. But, I was smart enough to cash my money out of there before they tell me I can't have it. So there's no more of that. But of my 3 leagues, I'm in the playoffs in 2 of them. One of them I didn't make the playoffs at all. And we're in the conference championship round is what we call this one. Next week would be the Super Bowl, of course.
Right.
And I'm riding your boy Fitzmagic to the ship. I picked him up off the wire a couple of weeks ago, and he's done nothing but average about 30 points for me since I grabbed him. I don't know who drops him, but thank you. Shout out to you. And, shout out to all my people who are lucky enough like me to have a dynasty league and own Odell Beckham. He is a fantasy football god, and I love you, Odell Beckham. Thank you. I'm going to ride you to the ship for the 2nd straight year. Appreciate you, sir.
Number one, I picked up Fitzmagic, and he got me 37 points. And the only reason, I will be truthful with you, Bucko, the only reason I picked up Fitzmagic was I got tickets to the Jets and Giants game, and I said, I'm going to be there, and Fitz going against that secondary, I said he's going to tear him up with Marshall and Deckler.
Right. But see, here's my thing is I've had some issues at quarterback this year. Phillip Rivers has been heckling, he's been heckling Jack. I don't know who, Jekyll and Hyde, excuse me. I don't know who he's going to be from week to week. 1 week he's going to give me 5 points, and next week he's going to get 55. I don't know how to predict it, so I got tired of gambling on his ass, gambling on his behind, and I went and grabbed 50. He hasn't had a bad week yet since I grabbed him. So I'm going to keep riding the hot hand. That's the plan.
You mentioned Odell, and I'm going to say there's Odell in the fantasy league, and there's Odell watching him on TV. What are your thoughts on Odell Beckham Jr. watching him on TV? I know we're watching something special.
Yeah, no, he's a rare breed, man. He's not your prototypical wide receiver. He's only 6 flat, 185 pounds, with crazy hair, and all he does is dance. So you look at that particularly, I don't see nothing special in that, but the dude can jump out of the gym, and there's not anything that goes by him that he can't catch. He's a special player, and I'm lucky to have him.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to tell you this much right here. On the Happy Hour Network in a couple of weeks, and the other show that I co-host is called Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue. We, for the month of January and leading into in February, we won't be talking any baseball. It's going to be BBB, NFL playoffs version. We are going to talk all playoffs, all football. Definitely going to be tapping your knowledge to join the show to talk it up because it's football. And as much as I love the folks like Russell Baxter and E.J. Christian, there's no way, pound for pound, a Bucko Bruce can go with the best of them. I know that much. So I got to throw this out to you. Do the Panthers go 16-0? And does it matter if they go 16-0 if they don't go 19-0?
No, not at all. The Patriots proved, 2009, that's irrelevant. It means nothing if you don't go 19-0. 16-0 has been done before. You won't be the first to do it. Your goal is to win that Super Bowl. I actually, personally, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know a lot of people are going to call me crazy, given the way they've been playing the past few weeks, but I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say the Giants are going to go ahead and end that streak this Sunday. You got Greg Olsen nursing a knee. The MRI came back, negative. He doesn't have any tears or sprains, but he's still not going to be anything close to even 80%, let alone 100. And Jonathan Stewart has a very bad foot sprain. He might not play the rest of the regular season. So you got your 2 top offensive performers not playing this week, possibly. Jonathan Stewart's a definite. Greg Olsen's a question mark. And the Giants are playing for their division. I don't know if you watched Eli Manning last night. That was incredible. And I just have a feeling that's going to continue. So I'm going to go out on a limb and make that bold prediction there.
So you're telling me Norman is going to be able to stick Odell Beckham Jr., or he's going to be able to stay with him?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Norman is playing outside of his head. This year he might be the best corner in football. But Odell Beckham, we call him the uncoverable. It don't matter if you're Revis. It don't matter who you are. You're not covering Odell Beckham. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him, and that's what they'll try to do.
What's your thoughts on the Patriots?
I think they're finished. They were riding a hot-headed steam with the world is against us. Look at Goodell trying to end our quarterback's career. This and that. The world's against us. Patriot way. This, that, and the other. Then they get a couple of injuries, and now you can see they're reeling. They're limping down the stretch. And LeGarrette Blount's done for the year. They got announced today. You know, they're picking up bums off the street. Like I heard they're working on Steven Jackson today.
Yeah, I heard that.
They signed Monte Ball. And then you got Edelman still hurt. You got Gronk. He's back, but he's not fully Gronk. And the defense is showing some holes in it. I think the Patriots are done. I think the Steelers and the Broncos are the class of the AFC right now. If Osweiler can put it together, I think he's just playing a little nervous right now. But I think Denver and Pittsburgh are the teams who beat. And Pittsburgh's not even in the playoffs right now. So if Pittsburgh gets in, which I believe they will, then New England's dead. They're dead in the water. Started off real hot, they're going to fizzle.
What's your thoughts on the Seahawks? Because Russell Wilson he's balling out of control.
Yeah, nobody wants to play them right now, but they did take a huge blow. Marshawn Lynch probably won't be back to the playoffs. And Thomas Rawls is finished. He's done. And they brought in Christian Michael, who just got cut by the Redskins. They're bringing him back in, and they got Bryce Brown. They picked up off the wire. They're running no-name running backs out there that don't know the offense. At a critical time of the season, that worries me a bit because we already know they don't have very many options at wide receiver. So if they don't have the key to run, then Russell Wilson's going to be having a hard time. But right now, the way they're playing, then nobody wants to see them at the moment.
Bucko, I hate to put you out here right now, but I'm going to. This question will be asked to you again, I'm going to say in the month of January. Give me your pick for the Super Bowl.
Right now, gun to my head right now, Arizona, Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. And who do you see winning that?
Arizona.
Okay. I can't fault you for it. I can't fault you for it because I was leaving Arizona out for a specific reason because I don't know. I think these guys are something special. These guys are something special.
They are ridiculous. They have speed on both sides of the ball. They got safeties playing linebacker, for God's sake. There's just really nothing you can do to out-scheme them. And if Carson Palmer's on, you're screwed. If Carson Palmer's on, throwing BBs out there, there's nothing you can do. Fitz, the ageless wonder out there, still balling. John Brown, J.J. Nelson, even Michael Floyd is finally having somewhat of a career. You know, it's amazing what Bruce Arians is doing down there. That in my mind is probably the best coach in football. Just the way he schemes his game plans from week to week. You know, they had 2 bad games this season. And they lost the game by 1 score each. Other than that, they beat the hell out of everybody. I like Arizona a lot.
Bucko, change the topic one more time because we got about 5 minutes left. When are you coming back to radio? You left.
No, hey, I am a free agent, my friend. I do not have to jump unless there's an offer on the table worth me jumping for. You know what I mean? I had some hectic life changes, you know, with work and then adding a third child, a third daughter. Mind you, y'all pray for me. It's a house full of
always
in here. So
always.
So working 70 hours a week, coming home, putting in 70 hours a week with the kids. I mean, it really left no time to do what I love to do because as men we do what we have to do. But now, life has afforded me blessings to where the work is cut in half, but the money's still the same. and the kids are becoming more self-sufficient, we're affording the ability to jump back in the game. And you know me, man. All you gotta do is give me something to talk about, and I'll ramble for hours. I mean, I'm sorry to take us so much of your program here. I hope there wasn't someone waiting on the line for me, like, shut up, Bucko. I'm ready to go.
Not at all. Not at all. I just, like I said, I had to put you out there because you got a great voice for radio, a great head for radio. Just you totally understand the game, and I just wanted to know when you're coming back.
I'm back. I am available, as it were. You know, you, my friend, are the main one that I would link up with. If there were any opportunity, you know, I would have to involve the great Teddy Two Teams. I'm sure you got your Russell Wilson jersey getting out the dryer right now.
Always.
Put in. Yeah, no, man. It would be an honor to be back in radio with you again, sir. You know, let me know when and where I'm there.
All right. I will tell you this much. When I went to San Francisco to see the Seahawks against San Francisco, I did not wear my Russell Wilson jersey because I just thought, I said, you know what, who knows what could happen. And then I get to the stadium, and I see so many Seahawks jerseys out there. I was like, I really blew this.
That's the biggest bandwagon. You know, here's what's funny. You know, me and you had this conversation privately more than once. But 4 years ago, you could walk around Seattle, let alone the rest of the country, and see no Seahawk paraphernalia anywhere.
Right.
Now you walk around Odessa, Texas, and you see somebody with a Russell Wilson jersey. Get out of here, okay? The biggest bandwagon crock of crap there is. Now, there are some Seahawk fans. I believe your partner in particular was an original Don Dada of the 12th man.
Yes.
There are some. Every city has, hell, I'm a Bucs fan. We probably have the smallest amount of fans nationwide of any team because who the hell roots for the lovable loser? You know what I mean? Jameis Winston's the real deal. Lovie Smith is not. The defense is not. So we're still a couple ways from winning. But you know me, I'm going to ride hard for mine. So those that do that for theirs, I appreciate and applaud it. But you bandwagoners, y'all can kick rocks for me with that.
I know. I tell you, 2 years ago, I went to AT&T Stadium for the first time ever, and I wore a Giants jersey. And I got to tell you, Bucko, I caught hell. I caught hell for it.
Why would you have a Giants jersey on if you're a Jets fan?
Oh, just because I'm not a Cowboys fan, and I wanted to go in there with a jersey, and that was the only time I wore a jersey.
That is you should slap yourself for thinking that a good idea. I mean, take your hand 6 inches from your face and just let it slide. That's terrible. Absolute trash. You know,
my goodness.
Tell your boy Hezzy, I went to the grocery store and I got some paper bags for him. I'm gonna mail them to him.
I love it.
They're done. I don't care if they squeak one out against me. Y'all still damn finished.
Oh my goodness. Bucko, want to give you a round of applause?
Yes, sir.
So glad to have you come. It's like I said, it's a homecoming.
Yeah.
You're not a visitor. But tell us best
I'm
way.
Not a guest. I walk straight in and get in your refrigerator. I go straight to the refrigerator and I grab what I want. Damn it.
The back of your head with the refrigerator door open, and all I have to do is smile.
It is.
Bucko, what's the best way to get in contact with you via social media?
No, I'm only on Twitter and Facebook. I don't do the Snapchat and Instagram and all that. You can catch me on Twitter at BuckoBruce83 or Facebook.com at BuckoBruce83. I'm engageable. You know, come and talk to me.
Got you, Bucko. Thanks so much.
Though I'm quite vulgar. Just beware.
Bucko, thanks so much for joining us, and we're going to close out the show. But like I said, this ain't the first time, and this show as hell ain't the last time you're going to be on this show, brother. Thanks so much.
You bet your money on that, man. God bless, man. Love you, bro.
All right, God bless. And that was Bucko Bruce. We're closing out. We have about 15 seconds left. We're going to close out with when will I see you again? All right.